All right. I come to you from a different spot in our tiny trailer home. I uh I honestly, I kind of don't know why I haven't been filming in the living room to begin with. My brain just thinks, "Oh, it's kind of like work and to take it seriously, I need to sit at the table." Not necessarily true, I guess. Um so here's the classic. It's been a while, YouTube. Uh It's been actually kind of the end of summer for us is always like a little bit bonkers. Um, with end of my spouse's work project, there's quite a bit of traveling for him, and that means me doing a little bit of driving to and from airports and stuff. Oh man, what I actually came here to talk about today is that this is not the video that I intended to make. It's also not the video that, um, or it's also not in the timeline that I anticipated making my next video in. As in, it's been significantly longer, which feels a little bit like starting from the start on an internal level. Yeah, so here's what's happened. I went to visit my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece and nephew for a week, about a week ago. And I was so excited to be there because there's just something to be said about like my niece and nephew, they're 3 and 5. My niece just started kindergarten, which is bonkers. Uh, but there's something to be said about like seeing my family and my niece and my nephew, like just like in their own environment, in their normal element, if you will. It's different than experiencing them in any other sort of place. Also, oh, pardon me, is it video if I don't yawn? If I sound a little nasally, I'm at the tail end of a cold because I got that while I was up there too. But anywho, so I went up there. I had a really fun week. I filmed so much while we were up there. Um, with, my sister and brother-in-law's permission, I got to even film some time with the kids. And my niece is kind of like, she's always been a little bit of a ham. So when it comes to being like photographed or videoed or whatever, she loves it. So that was easy for me. We went to they have like a cultural center kind of there, because it's where they're from is a Mennonite town, so there's like Mennonite history and everything, which obviously, I mean, I don't know very well. So it was very cool, but I got to see like a million tractors, and where they're from, there's a handful of really well-known last names in in the community, so to speak. And my sister's now part of that. So at this like heritage center, they actually have like a house with their last name. It's not their house, and it's from like however many years ago, decades ago. But it was really cool to like tour around. The sun was super bright and beautiful that day. And we went to shops and we played outside and we did all this stuff that like I wanted to make a video about. And I was like, I knew that it'd be a lot of work because like vlog style videos are a lot of work because you got to like piece stuff together. And if it's something that you're doing that's an experience, you have to hope that you actually like have enough to make a video, I guess. That you filmed enough, I guess, to make another video or to make a whole video. That being said, I will preface this next part with the fact that I am incredibly fortunate that I live in a time and have the means to even be talking about this. So I've had the same cell phone, and if you've watched previous videos, then you might know that I do just film with my cell phone and this adorable little mic. that attaches and a tripod because I keep it simple. And startup costs to start making YouTube could be wild, but I did not intend to, like, I have my phone already, you know? So I had my phone for like 3 years, which I realize in like the grand scheme of phones, like it doesn't, like, companies release phones every year, but I'm not interested in getting a new phone every year. I'm not interested in getting a phone every couple of years. I was fully intending to keep the cell phone that I had for the foreseeable future. And unfortunately, while I was up visiting my family, it started to sort of like glitch, and it wasn't like taking my inputs. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I luckily, so it's like a 9-hour drive from there. I'm incredibly grateful that what happened did not happen during my drive. I'm a little directionally challenged, and while I do believe in the fact that I could have figured out how to get home, I'm really glad it didn't happen while I was driving 9 hours by myself. That being said, I get home after this awesome week. In the next couple days, I was planning on getting that video together, like editing. And so I get up the next morning after that drive. I'm just going about my regular morning. I run this sort of like checklist on my phone every day. It just kind of like, I don't even know why I do it, but it gives me gratitude or self gratification. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh boy. I don't know. It just makes me feel proud that like I feel like I accomplished something in the day, even if it's something as simple as like remembering to sweep or vacuum. You know, it sounds silly, but you do whatever makes you feel good, right? And it doesn't hurt anybody, and it doesn't take me really any extra time. But so I'm just going in there and I'm clicking off things and seeing what's upcoming, and the screen pixelates, which is never a good thing. And then it turns off. And then it starts to start up, but then it turns off. And then it starts to turn on, and then it turns off. And it sat in that state for hours. My spouse was like, let's take it to one of those cell phone fixie places in the mall. We'll see what they can do. In the meantime, we scoured the internet. And I mean, this is a disadvantage to new age phones. The old, like, we've typically had Samsungs. That's what my phone was. But the old Samsungs used to be able to pop off the back. Well, I guess you could do with Blackberries and stuff too, but you could pop off the back and just like get the battery out to like let it have a moment. With these phones, I'm not technically inclined enough to rip off the back and take my battery out. So unfortunately, it sat in that cycle until the mall opened. And we take it in, and they start doing their thing, and like there's some hope. And as time's going on, the phone's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and that's like never a good thing. It still hasn't fully turned on. We brought my laptop in case we were able to just like transfer data real fast. And towards like, I think we spent like 3 hours at the mall. There was a small lunch break in there because they needed some time to like take things apart and put things back together, and I don't know, things I don't understand how to do. But to basically come to the conclusion that the battery heated so intensely, and where it's placed was kind of like touching the motherboard of the phone, and it basically like singed the parts of the motherboard. And so and I realize this is incredibly first world. And that's why like I preface this with the fact that I am fortunate, because not everybody lives like this and not everybody can have this problem. And it could 1,000 bajillion times be worse in the grand scheme of things. But due to the fact that the motherboard was singed or burned, I cannot retrieve anything off of that phone. Which means that I cannot get the videos I took to make, you know, like a memory video of my week trip with my family. And a year ago in October, we had stopped backing our phones up to Google, like the Google Cloud, if you will. I don't actually know what it's called. It might be called Google Drive. I don't know. But we had stopped because it was filling up so rapidly with backing everything up that it was like, oh, by the way, you can't receive emails now because it's too full. So we stopped backing up our phones, which means that there is a year of photos, videos, documents, files that were saved on my physical phone, not to any sort of cloud or Google Docs or any of that, that I can't get back. And I realize that I have the memories, but it's, I feel like, been for a very long time, like in society, like you printed photos and you put photos up in your home, and you know, you go to your grandparents' house to see the photos from them growing up, because that was a way of like telling family history. And I understand that, oh boy, that's a loud car. Hopefully you can't hear that. I understand that, like, to me, photos are like a form of your history. You know, that's like the same as me making these videos. Like, I'm gonna look back one day and be like, look at the history. Look at the history of what we did in our life. Look at, you know, like, I even, luckily, some of the stuff from like last summer was backed up for some reason. I don't understand how, but I guess that would have been before October. That makes sense. But like my spouse's nephew, and I differentiate that because they're all our nieces and nephews, but it helps to understand which side of the family they're from. But so my spouse's nephew, you know, there's pictures of him last summer, and like you look at him from last summer to this summer and he's like a whole different kid, you know? So like, it's not so much that like I don't give a fuck about the phone. It's a phone. I say that as I'm filming on a phone now, but not the same phone. We did have to invest in new phones, which again, we are fortunate, and I am grateful that we were able to do that, that we had and have the means to have replaced this phone in a timely fashion. But the thing that made me upset, the thing that I quite literally cried about, and some people might think that's silly, but I was upset because as much as I have the memories, I can't get back that history. I can't get back the last year of my niece and nephew, the last year of, you know, pets that have passed in my family, or fun times with friends. Like, there's, it seems silly to be upset, but at the same time, I'm upset because they mean something to me. And I am someone who, I do take quite a lot of photos, and it sounds silly, but I'll take pictures of in nature. I'll take videos of nature. Like, things that just make me feel good. And the last year of that is gone, and that's hard for me. Again, it doesn't pass me by that this is I could have worse problems. Worse things could have happened. There was no death, there was no injury, there was no actual harm in it. And I get that it's something as simple as photos. But it still means something to me. And yeah, so this wasn't the video that I wanted to make, and I feel a little out of practice. I'm happy to be back sat down in front of the camera, and I'll be honest, I took extra time to make, before making this video, because I wanted to cool down a bit from it, because I'm mad that a 3-year-old phone just bit the bullet. 3 years. We're making technology that's lasting 3 years and then catastrophically failing. I don't know. But there is one. The world of Reddit has suggested, because it is overheating, and it when we do plug it in, it overheats and then shuts off, and overheats and shuts off. The one sliver of hope from the world of Reddit is putting it in the freezer, away from anything that might actually be wet, just keeping it cold and running a cord from it to my computer in hopes. It is the one thing, and I haven't been able to do it up to now because I don't want to get my hopes up. I want to try to process that. Get into this new phone because it's a brand we've never used before. And yeah, so we will try that. I will keep you posted, probably on shorts though. So yeah, this isn't the video that I wanted to make. And to be honest, I don't have any takeaways. I'm pretty upset. And I try to be relatively positive, and I try to look for silver linings or glimmers of good things. And in this case, I guess the glimmers of good things is that there was no harm, injury, or death. That it could have been worse, and it wasn't. So yeah, it's probably the most not upbeat video I've ever made. And I was going to apologize, but I'm not going to apologize because this is life. Shit happens. And while most of the time I'm pretty good at rolling with it, this one kind of messed with me, and it sucks. And I will get over it. I will. And I will make more memories, and I will continue to take photos. And we have invested in a proper amount of Google Cloud, and backing up is happening always. We learned our lesson there. There's your lesson. Don't forget to back your shit up, people. But anywho, this is getting longer. I have missed filming. Now that I'm sitting here, I really have missed it. And we have 20 subscribers now, which for some people might not be a lot, but if I stood in front of 20 people and talked like this, I would probably feel a little intimidated. So I'm kind of stoked. It's exciting. It's like one of those first milestones. That's so freaking cool. So if you're here as a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, subscribe. My content is usually a lot more upbeat. But that being said, if it looks a little different, not just the fact that I'm sat in our living room area, it is because I do have a new phone. I am using the same mic. And now I have to go pick up my spouse from the airport because he's actually coming back today. So I have to drive to the airport now. But I do want to try another vlog style thing soon. And if you are here, thank you. if you have techie friends in Canada, because I'm in Alberta, let me know. Maybe I can talk to someone and there's some magic sauce or there's some way to get my shit back off this phone. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it's taken some serious restraint not to just yeet it onto the highway. We're pretty mad about Samsung. Not just for this, but for something else as well. It was a really bad customer service thing like a year ago. We won't get into that. I'm not here to hate on Samsung right now. Anywho, and no, we didn't get iPhones. If you're team iPhone versus Samsung or Android, we're still Android in this household. Sorry, iPhone users. We did almost get iPhones. This isn't tech space. We're not going to talk about this. Okie dokes. I'm going to leave it here. This is a longer one. If you made it this far, thank you. I love you. And we'll see you on hopefully a more upbeat note and the next one.